You know, infinite intelligence will throw itself on your side when it finds out that you're not going to quit until it does. If you do not give up when the going is hard, infinite intelligence will throw itself on your side. Remember, that's when the going is hard. You see there, you have your faith tested, you have your initiative tested, you have your enthusiasm tested, you have your endurance tested. And when nature finds out that you can stand the test and that you're not going to take no for an answer, she says, all right, you pass. Come on in. You're over. You're in. I think that nature or infinite intelligence or God or whatever you choose to call it, I think that first cause likes to convey information to people in simple terms and things they can understand. And surely this philosophy comes within that category. It wouldn't send the high school boy or girl to the dictionary or to the encyclopedia. You can read it or you can hear about it, you can understand it, and your own intelligence tells you the moment you come across one of these principles that it's bound to be sound. You just know that it is. You don't need any proof. You can see that it is. And it wouldn't have been in existence today if I hadn't concentrated through 20-odd years of adversity and defeat. So you see, it does pay to concentrate, and it does, my own experience corroborates what I said, that if you stand by when the going is hard and fail to quit, infinite intelligence will throw itself on your side. Now, I don't think that would be true in a case like that of Hitler's. No doubt he had a definiteness of purpose. No doubt he had an obsessional desire. But what was wrong with his definiteness of purpose? That is right. It ran counter to the plans of infinite intelligence, to the laws of nature, to the laws of right and wrong. And you may be sure that whatever you're doing will come to naught or come to failure, and you'll come to grief if it works a hardship or an injustice upon a single individual. What you must do, what you do, if you hope to have infinite intelligence throw itself on your side, is to be right. And you can only be right when everything that you do benefits everybody whom it affects, including yourself. Well, then take Christ's whole life was devoted to concentration upon developing a system of living for the brotherhood of man. He didn't fare too well while he lived, but on the other hand, he must have been doing the right thing, because what he was doing, even though after he passed on, he only had 12 people to start out with. And that's why I believe that what he was doing, what he was preaching, must have been right, because if it hadn't been right, it would have been destroyed and gone long before this. Because there is something in nature, or in infinite intelligence, which brings forth with every evil the virus of its own destruction. And that there's no exception to that. Every evil, everything that's not in conjunction with the overall plan of nature or the natural laws of the universe, brings with the circumstance itself the virus of its own destruction. Take William Wrigley, for instance. Mr. Wrigley, by the way, William Wrigley, Jr., was the first man that ever paid me money for teaching him this philosophy. My first $100 that I ever made came from William Wrigley, the stenographer's friend. Well, just think what that man did on a 5-cent package of chewing gum. I never ride down Michigan Boulevard. I never see that building down there lighted on the river, lighted at night, that white building, and I don't think of what concentration can do even in connection with such a thing as a 5-cent package of chewing gum. The signers of the Declaration of Independence, and George Washington's and Abraham Lincoln's and Thomas Jefferson's concentration was to give personal liberties to all of the American people and eventually to the people of the world. It may well be that the freedom of mankind, this is the cradle for the birth of the freedom of mankind itself, because I know of no other nation on the face of this earth that is concentrating upon the freedom of the individual as we are doing here in the United States. And I know of no other philosophy, no other people engaged in any other study whose objective is to free so many people as those who are studying this philosophy.
With Dr. Hill's 11th principle, accurate thinking, you are going to penetrate into the innermost secrets of your right to be rich. You are going to analyze the mystery of all mysteries, the power of the human mind. Every person who intends to achieve any form of enduring success must learn the art of thinking accurately. He or she must understand the fundamentals of thinking, including inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, and logic. Learn to distinguish between important and unimportant facts. Separate fact from fiction, emotions, and opinions. And ultimately, they must do their own thinking. So must you. Permit no one, no acquaintance or friend or relative or media expert or authority to do your thinking for you. Remember that everything begins with an idea, a thought. If the thought is based on faulty logic or reasoning, then the work that evolves from that thought must also be flawed. It is not easy to become an accurate thinker, but it is absolutely essential that you do so. Now, to guide you on your way, Dr. Napoleon Hill.
Well, we're on a marvelous lesson tonight, the subject of accurate thinking. You know, the thing that everybody talks about and hardly anybody ever does. Accurate thinking. What a marvelous thing it is to be able to analyze facts, think accurately, make decisions based upon accurate thinking rather than upon emotional feelings. The majority of opinions of decisions that you make, and I and everybody else for that matter, are based upon things that we desire or things that we feel, not upon the facts necessarily at all. And when it comes to a showdown between your emotional feelings, the things you feel like doing, and the things that your head tells you you ought to do, which one do you think wins the most? What's the matter with the head that it doesn't get a better chance, do you suppose? Why isn't it consulted more? Very good, very good. The sparks are flying. I can see that.